Hey, Sandy, I got that email you sent me on the $13,000. You know what that was? It was paid. I will get. Yeah. Okay.
So how are you connected with the gate?
I built a gate
Oh, you built a whole,
in the east wing.
okay,
I own a built over here, and I couldn't get any orders. But we built all this nice custom gates with
uh-huh,
rubber horses and all that stuff.
right.
But the government started paying everybody.
Oh, yeah, that's, that's still the case.
13 employees. 4 and 4 different areas. So busy, they're like, we can't take bucks.
Yeah.
You know, I said, we'll shut it down. So COVID's over, then we'll start back.
And did you have some major surgery?
I had a big work dissection. That's what they call total dissection.
Yeah.
And you lived through it?
Yeah, not supposed to live. There's no medical reason as to how I live.
Amen.
Where was you at when it happened?
I was on duty. It was January 5th of this year. They rushed me to the hospital. There's a whole long story about how.
Yeah, your wife kind of told me about what all happened when I.
It's kind of a bad deal. A good deal with a bad deal.
So you retired from Mesquite. I knew that you had your time in there.
I had just 20 and a half years.
Yeah.
That's what I had there. And I had almost 7 for all the love, I'll tell you. What they do, total software election, you know, right? Yes.
But do you have anybody out there working now or just it's closed? Closed.
Pretty close to total. Just, I've got a couple of guys, every once in a while, somebody will call and need something. We had some customers that were doing a lot of work for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I called 1 or 2 of those guys. It's apartment basically.
Might have just a little bit of work to do on a barbecue pit. That number is how far you still good? Oh. I guess you noticed we finally paved the rest of that road out there up to the private road. Road you live on.
Okay.
Your
And y'all
business
can
is on.
spin around where you can see him if you want to.
Yeah. So on this side of the table.
If you want. Y'all.
I know, but we paved up to the private road.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I noticed that, I guess. That's the whole road.
Yeah, the whole road's been redone.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call the Van Zandt County Commissioners Workshop to order on Wednesday, December 22nd, 2021 at 11:04 a.m. Well, we do have all members of the court present, finally. Scott, any public comments? no public comments. This is a Grant Works project workshop. Mr. Bass is joining us by Zoom. So I would turn it over to you, Mr. Bass, and you may, if there's something you would like to address. I know and before you get started, we've got Karen Wilson, our district clerk. Scott Hyde, we did vote this morning in Commissioners Court this morning to go ahead with those cybersecurity and the scanning or archiving, what is
File conversion.
Okay. And,
Okay.
And then, is it Stacy? Stacy, that's what, okay, Stacy is here, she is representing co-filing. She wanted to ask if she could ask you a question and stuff once we.
Okay. Yeah, so let's back up we do need to put out, I mean, we can go with we haven't paid co-file yet, have we?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so because the co-file project is the scale, the price of it is above the what's they called this, the acquisition threshold, which is $250,000. We will need to put out a solicitation bid packet for that to get a number of quotes in on that project. We could go with co-file, but we do need to follow the procurement process as spelled out by 2 CFR 200. And I sent Sandy last week 2 CFR 200 procurement policy that can be adopted by County of Van Zandt that has all of those steps in it that meet those 2 CFR 200 requirements.
Okay, and we did adopt that this morning.
Okay, great.
In Commissioners Court, but I think Stacy wanted to talk to you. You may
Hey,
go
Stacy.
ahead.
I did just have a few questions, and I obviously don't
Yes,
have the statute in front of me, but I did want to make you aware, or I can actually email to you all, or there is a whole entire list across 6 states that they have been able to just outright, award projects such as this using the ARPA funds. I didn't know if you would be interested in seeing that. And I'm not sure if it is because they are under the threshold, but some of these are some fairly larger deals as far as like the scope of work and the amount. And so
Yeah.
I just didn't know if you would be interested in seeing that. We also not only are a part of, I realize the state and local purchasing vehicle text mass, but we're also federally, we're on the federal purchasing, the GSA. So I didn't know, that's approved by, a federal agency. So I just didn't know if that would be helpful at all to provide our contractor vendor ID number.
Yeah, that would be great. Is that like kind of like is the federal purchasing GSA kind of like a buy board?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I can get that somehow if you want me to send that.
Yeah, the more information, the better. Yeah.
Sure, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Would she need to get that information to you, William?
Yes, sir. Yeah, to me would be great. And I can send you my email or give it to you right now or.
Okay. Okay. I can get it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
everyone
appreciate
has
it.
there, so. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So for that, the quote that I saw that was sent over me for the file conversion project had, off the top of my head, had something in the range of 850,000, I believe, for the completion of that project. So because it is above the certified standardized acquisition threshold that the federal government uses, which is $250,000, we will need to follow, that specific procurement process for that's laid out in the policy that I sent you over. And I will work with you guys for sure to walk you through that and make sure and help you put together that packet and make sure we're crossing the T's and dotting the I's during that project. and I take it, you also approved, yeah, as you mentioned, that the cybersecurity project was approved. I'll get closer. I'll meet with Scott. He had some questions on that because that is above the micro purchase threshold or micro purchase threshold, which is $10,000. We do need per 2 CFR 200 to get 2 to 3 bids at the bare minimum 2, but ideally 3. There can be situations, as I mentioned to Scott, in which we can go single source if it's discovered, if we've done proper research and we've documented that there is categorically no other vendor that can provide that particular cybersecurity. But we do have to go through the steps and document that we looked and that we tried, and if we are going to go with a single source. So I'll get with Scott. I'll set up a meeting with Scott for next week, or if he's here today or tomorrow, to drill down on that cybersecurity component in terms of how to proceed with that procurement properly.
I was wondering if you had a list of, if there's a list of vendors that are similar, provide a similar service to that we could reach out to for the folks.
Yeah, I don't have a number of a list of vendors off the top of my head right now, Scott. But we can search some. I think GSA, or the Small Business Association through the government. There's like a website that we can go to and search on there. But yeah, I don't have anything off the top of my head. But let me get with you, Scott. Take this offline to see if we can. If it's possible, if there's any other vendors that offer this, and if not, we can document that that's the case and then go with this particular vendor.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
The next,
You're not, no.
Just one thing that I was concerned with is, obviously if you have to go out for bid, I don't even know right now who would be able to offer that service. Nothing against US Imaging, but I mean, I know they're a scanning company, but I don't think they have the expertise, nor do they have the facilities to be able to scan documents or historical records. Typically they just run records through a flatbed, and my fear is that these records will return damage. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
a
So
lot
I mean,
cheaper,
at
but
the
guarantee the condition.
yes, ma'am, absolutely. I totally understand where you're coming from, and I'm just making sure. My job here is to make sure that all the processes and procedures are being followed. At the end of the day, in terms of procurement, it's always up to you on what vendor you want to go with, as long as you can justify that. Value, price isn't the only determining factor in procurement. Value is another determining factor, and that can be the primary factor as long as we document that. So what I'm kind of getting at is that we just have to go through this particular process. We can go with whatever vendor or the one that you quoted me with. At the end of the day, we just need to document that we followed all of these particular steps, if you understand what I'm saying. So that if there was an audit to occur at any point in the future, that we would have all this documentation to provide to the auditor that we followed all of the 2 CFR 200 steps that that are required to follow for the use of federal funds. So yeah, again, at the end of the day, we can go with whatever vendor that you guys select, as long as you document why, that vendor, what value they provide, et cetera, et cetera. But we do need to go through the process.
Anyone have any questions for William?
Can we go to a new subject, or what are we talking about?
Anything?
What about, I would like to proceed with the jail package and start to work on that.
Yes, sir. So we're already in progress with Chad, Commissioner LaPrade, and on the radio towers. Has there been? I know we left off last time in terms of some discussion on which direction we want to go. We left off with some discussion on which direction we want to go with in terms of those 2 projects, because they're going to eat up $5 or $6 million each. We are proceeding with the RFQ for the radio, the communication towers that will house the radio and broadband equipment. Has there been any discussion amongst the commissioners court on if we do want to go with the radio tower or the jail project?
Well, I think we voted today to go with cybersecurity and the documents upstairs.
Okay.
I think there was discussion between the commissioners court on the next one will be the radios. But then Virgil, we've got a gentleman about to come in, should be coming in anytime. He won't talk about roofs on the courthouse. I told him, well, you just need to come in and talk to the anything else, Virgil?
Well, I do. I have a new sketch of a jail proposal, a renovation that meets the state jail standards. And I'd like to send, I just got that this, well, I've been out for 3 or 4 days, but I just got this last week.
Okay.
With Commissioner Pratt this morning, and I'm going to send out the smaller copies to the rest of the commissioners. But and I've briefly talked to the sheriff about it. I'm gonna show him the main plat today. But
Okay.
I'll send you what I have now.
Okay.
But it does, what we have now does comply with state jail standards. The old one that I sent you was back from 2012.
Okay.
It was outdated and it didn't really comply with state jail standards. But this one that I'm going to send you, that I have in possession now, does comply with state jail standards.
Okay.
But I do believe that I think there's going to be commissioners court discussion. Is that
Okay.
is that what we want to do? Is that where we're going?
Yeah. Yeah.
We voted to, thanks, Stace. We voted to go with those 2 today.
Right.
We signed, we agreed to sign and approve that, resolution.
Right.
And then I think it's pretty well settled with the commissioners court that the next project would be the radios.
Okay.
And then, and like I say, Joe was supposed to come in here. Joe, I was supposed to brought it up 2 weeks ago about roofs and stuff on the courthouse, because we got leaks and stuff, and he wanted to address the court. I said, "Well, come in." I said, "We'll be with William." Do you know if roofs on the courthouse is one of the covered expenses? Because
I
he's
can-
working with a company, Garland something, and he says that they say the American Rescue Plan money, they're doing other projects for other schools and counties and stuff, and it's approved for that.
Yeah. I could do some more research with my team off the top of my head. A roof, I don't see it following into any of the current allowable categories with the guidance that currently stands. Again, the guidance will change once this bill comes out, whenever that happens, hopefully sometime early next year. But right now, a roof, I mean, I would advise, I would say that is not currently one of the allowable uses of money, because it's not, we're not mitigating COVID. That's one of the categories that this would possibly fall under, and it's not the current infrastructure, which is sewer, broadband, and wastewater. So I don't, off the top of my head, I mean, I could do some further research and see and check with my team to see on that. But at the moment, I would say no, that does not currently, at this very moment, fall with any of the allowable uses. Again, with the new bill, there'll be much more allowable infrastructure, but at this moment, no.
Okay.
So if Commissioner's Court, if I'm understanding you correctly, there will be more discussion amongst yourselves regarding if we want to go with the radio or the jail project.
No, I think that's been established. We'll go with the radio project.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, from what I've gathered from Chad, from what I gather from Commissioner LaPrade is that the radio tower is gonna come in around like $5 or $6 million. Is that correct? Or am I off on that figure?
The radio system and the towers, it's probably gonna be
Yeah.
somewhere in that 6 to 7 range, depending on how the RFPs run out.
Yeah. So, I'm just wondering, just thinking out loud here in terms of the cost allocation with those two, the two projects of the file conversion and the cyber security, and then adding in the radio towers, which we're proceeding with, in terms of how much money would be left for the jail project if that wanted to be pursued also.
That right, Virgil? I think we're gonna try, I mean.
It's that he wanted to go with the radios and stuff, but leave the jail project to see if there was funding,
We'll see what it is, but see, my position, I don't think we're gonna need as many towers as what proposed right now. I think we can do with less towers and make the system work. And
Okay.
But so what Virgil's saying is he's not sure the radio project will cost that 6 or 7
that's
million,
right.
and it would leave enough money then
Okay.
for the jail project.
Okay.
But I know our sheriff's not on board.
Cool. Yeah,
with
because
that.
we're
I'm sorry.
looking at like 10.5 million in terms of what we have to use on projects. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense that would cost less, and that would be not exactly around that 6 to 7 million. So okay, sounds good. So my next steps is going to start working with Scott and on the drilling down on the procurement and what we need to do and what we can do for the cybersecurity procurement. And also I believe who would be the person to contact regarding the file conversion? Who would be my main contact on that project?
Who would that be, Sandy?
I'll send you Karen's
Karen?
contact information.
Karen. Okay.
Karen Wilson, the district clerk.
I'm
Okay.
emailing you right now. I'll put her contact in there for you too.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Scott.
Okay, and hold
Yeah,
up.
so
Okay, Mr. Bass, Joe, we're in discussion with William Bass, which is with Grant Works.
Yes, sir.
And we discussed a roof. I said that you wanted to address the commissioner's court. But I knew you had information saying that this company, it is covered by the American Rescue Plan money.
Yes, sir, I do. I was just making copies here. So this email I received from Steve Shad, he's a representative from the Garland Company. He put an agenda here, details are here, but this agenda, I think it's a county of Oklahoma. And where this would be covered.
Okay. Can you hear him, William?
no, could he speak into is there a microphone?
Yes, sir. Here.
Yeah, you talk to him, Joe.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Joe.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear.
We've been talking to a company, the Garland Company, the gentleman that I'm dealing with about the Metroplex. The Garland Company's been around for a long time. They do big commercial roofs, flat roofs like we have here. He had sent me, he sent several things here.
Okay.
He had sent me some information because I was asking him, we were looking for redoing the roof here. It's about 9,000 square foot of roof, I believe is what we got. There was 2 different roof levels, but it's about 9,000 total square feet. The roof's been repaired numerous times. Some of the repairs probably weren't done up to standard. We're past the point of doing repairs. The patches we did one repair about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and it's done. It's the life of it's supposed to be a 5-year fix. It won't last. Anyway, when he came by talking to him, he was talking to us about this, the COVID funds, I guess, the CARES Act. That we,
Mhm.
this could be
No,
covered.
this is rescue.
American Rescue, excuse me, American Rescue. That this could be covered under those funds. Did you have any specific questions for me, or?
Yes, sir. My opinion, is in being an expert on this allowable uses of funds, is that this would not be currently, as it stands with the current guidance, this would not be an allowable use of funds. That's my opinion at this moment. Again, I can bring this back to our directors and verify that my opinion on this matter is correct, because it currently doesn't fall within any of the current allowable expenditure categories. I don't see how a new roof would, mitigate the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's one of the categories out of that I could possibly see it fitting in, but I can't think of how that would be, how we would justify that at the moment. Another category, the infrastructure category, that is only for water, sewer, and broadband. However, just a second, I'm sorry, I'm close to that.
Joe, I think you need to send it.
That's what we'll see. If I get his email address, I will forward it.
Yeah, you need to forward that to him.
Joe,
Yes, sir.
so this is something, however, I'm not sure if you're privy to this information, but the rules and guidelines for the how the money can be spent are going to significantly change next year, hopefully sooner than later next year. I mean, the bill has been in was in the Senate and the House, and it had unanimous support. It's just kind of sitting there right now, but it will allow much more broad infrastructure to take place in terms of the usage of fund, because right now, again, it's only water, sewer, and broadband. So there will be much more infrastructure that will be allowed. Additionally, this will give everyone up to pretty much about $10 million as it stands right now in what's called lost revenue. And you can use that lost revenue on anything you want. They call it provision of government services. So as long as this lost revenue category isn't being, used to pay off debts or saved or for other such matters, as long as it's being put into play, it can be used. So yeah, if this could be used at the moment as in this lost revenue category, using the lost revenue category that we have right now, or it could be used, we could wait till next year, till the bill comes out, till this new, more broader use of ARP funds for infrastructure is signed into law. So those are two ways we can use it right now, is waiting till then, till that's to do the roof project, till that takes place. Or I believe, I know Sandy sent me the lost revenue. Sorry, I have a lot of clients. I forgot what the exact figure in there was. I know Sandy did indeed do that lost revenue calculation. So we could put this under that category if we did want to pursue it.
Let me ask you a question. You say next year, are you talking about calendar year 2022, or are you talking about fiscal year?
I unfortunately, I couldn't exactly say what I mean by next year. I'm not exactly sure. I know the bill unanimously passed the Senate, and it's kind of been sitting in the House. Unfortunately, I don't have a timeline on when it's going to be signed into law. I wish I did, but yeah, hopefully, Q1 of next year is kind of what I'm ballparking right now. But if we did want to proceed with the roof project, sorry for the runaround. I'm just thinking out loud here. Yeah, we could. I'll check on what that figure. I don't know if Sandy is present in the room, but she did do the lost revenue calculation that I sent over to her, and then we could use it in the lost revenue category right now if we wanted to proceed with it.
Okay.
Well, she is in the courtroom. Sandy is.
Okay. So that's kind of sorry for the whole spiel there, but yeah, we could do it right now if we wanted to use it in the lost revenue category. And, or we could wait till next year till these new guidelines are signed into law. I'm not sure. Do you know how to have a ballpark figure of how much a new roof would cost?
I had him to break it down. Because I knew, of course, funding always comes down to be an issue, so I had him break it down by the levels of roof. Or if we did do the whole project, if we did one part of it, to see what it would cost. One is $175,000,
Okay.
and the other, I think, is $225,000. There's about 3 roofs on top of each other up there. That's why we're past the point of being able to patch. It'd be a complete removal of all of that and starting back over again.
Okay.
Back up. Okay. One question I would like to do, I'm gonna forward you an email, pretty short read. It's from the gentleman I'm dealing with the Garland Company, that's representing this company. There's a couple of attachments to it. Could I forward it to you, where I'm getting my information from, some references he's used, where I'm getting this from, where I can forward you your review.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. And additionally, we wouldn't be able to automatically, kind of like, I guess you weren't here previously, but we would need to follow the proper procurement process for this. So we could absolutely, we can include this particular contractor in there, in the mix or whatever, but we would need to make sure that we're getting quotes and soliciting to the historically underutilized businesses and stuff. But we could absolutely have this contractor in the mix, but we need to go through the proper procurement process. We wouldn't automatically be able to just go with him from the start. So.
The reason why I've got this, I've reached out to another roofing company out of Colorado, made 2 attempts with them. They do the Smith County Courthouse and a lot of other buildings around here do flat roofs. I've reached out to them twice. I've spoken to them, they're going to come out and never have come, but yes, what do we need to do? I can certainly do that.
And so are these folks contractors or are they engineers?
The Garland Company is actually the manufacturer of the roofing product.
Okay.
They'll be providing when they put these guarantees on there, what the young man explained to me was when they say they're going to put on a 20-year roof or a 30-year roof, they can guarantee the materials for that. They want to be able to, they're going to pick the contractor and have them come put it in. So it's been trained in their product, put it on. That way they'll stand behind this product. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. So they're the manufacturer, and then they'll
and they've got some certified contractors too.
Okay, and then they'll solicit.
They'll
find the contractor. Okay.
Any other questions for William? Any information we need? Or do we, anything for William before we turn him loose?
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
I hear the.
Okay.
Cool. Well, so if.
Thank you, William. Hope you have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
You too. Merry Christmas, everyone. Yeah. I'll get working with on moving forward with the procurement of those 2 items.
Correct. Okay. Anything else? Thank you, sir. Froze up.
Thanks, everyone. I think my internet is breaking up, so that might be my sign. Bye, everyone.
What do you say, Scott?
Oh, his internet is messed up.
Okay, I wanted you, and let me apologize to the commissioner's court. I'd invited Joe to come in because he wanted to talk about the roofs, but the moment he told us prior to your arrival that this money couldn't be spent for the roofs, then I thought, well, we got a problem right here. And that's reason, okay, I wanted you to hear him, say that he doesn't believe it could be. Other than what he's saying is the lost revenue can be spent for anything. But I wanted you,
I'll get his email address from you guys, and I'll forward an email to him, wherever they say it. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Joe?
I do for you, but not Joe.
Well,
I
Joe,
think, Joe, a leaky roof causes problem with people that have COVID. That's, you know, that's a mitigation, buddy.
Yeah, I don't want to get up there and start pulling piles.
Yeah.
And get sick, you know.
well, what Joe told me was, can you say, is that there's there's businesses already spending this ARP, we call it ARP, American Rescue Plan.
One of them's county out of Oklahoma, it's for the attachments that email.
Right. There's places already spending the money for roofs, and they say it is approved.
There's a ruling from the Treasury Department, also the other attachment, the email, I didn't want to copy, how many copies of it did you just?
Well, you know,
You want this, you gonna.
nobody
need this
really
back.
knows. Nobody has a clue. He doesn't have a clue. We don't have a clue. You do it, you send them up, they send the bill in. If they pay it, well, good. And if they don't, you end up having to eat it.
I think that's why Grant Works is a little leery about wanting to go with this, because they know they're gonna have the responsibility.
That's
Something
right.
goes wrong, they're gonna have to foot the bill.
That's right.
So they're,
But here's what
But if
I,
that 3011 House bill passes,
yeah,
that'll take care of all this.
That
Because you
will.
can spend 10 million of it on anything.
but I will tell you, there's counties out there, soon as they got their money, they start spending it. They start spending it, here we go. They had planned for it, here's what, and they're already in the middle of the process of what they're doing with the money, and they didn't even, I know.
You know, I think that Jim Allison made a really good statement at our meeting that
yeah.
we went to here 2 or 3 weeks ago. He said, this is a 4-year deal. My recommendation is y'all hold up on doing anything
Well, I love
until everything is stated that this you can do or you can't do. And we don't have any of that. It's just up there right now. People are spending money on things, and he, you know, recommended you hold up, but if you had to spend money, spend it on things you were gonna spend it on anyway.
Yeah.
And then
Like
if
the
you
radios.
didn't get your money back, well, it wouldn't be quite as bad a deal.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree with him 100% on that. Did he say hold up until the judge is gone?
No, he said you need to get it in before the judge leaves.
No, but I wanted, Joe wanted to address and bring the roof issue. And I apologize to the commissioners court and to Joe. I was supposed to done it 2 weeks ago. And he asked me, he said, did you bring that up? I said, Joe, I forgot all about it. And I said, but here's the deal. We're gonna have another meeting in 2 weeks. You're more than welcome to come and come and because it's, I think, I guess you'll send that stuff to him.
Yes, I mean, you know, from the report, and let him review it, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's a yes.
And the commissioners court at some point in time decide, is that a direction they want to go? Or, I mean, we're gonna have some discussion today about the jail. I think that's what, I don't think the sheriff, from my understanding, supports the jail project.
Well, there's some things we need to discuss about that. We increase our bed size above 200, we have to full-time vet. So we have the cost, it's current cost is going to increase. So that's a concern I have. But I mean, hopefully in the future, we're going to need a whole new facility. That'll fix the problem for a little while. But I mean, we're looking at just an increase in inmates all the time. Probably have right now some females. Bill's bill for females, I guess back in the day, they weren't doing crimes. With the exception of one, only 1% of Edison County are all females.
So do you support the jail expansion
Well,
project?
you hadn't seen the new,
I haven't seen the deal.
hadn't seen the new one yet, but
There's concerns that we, I mean, the state's got to talk about, it's kind of like, we've talked about anything else, like the radio system, the concern with the radio system is what's going to be our current cost, and one vendor can't answer that question. And same with this, I mean, that's something we need to reach out to the jail commission and find out.
Keep it at 199, you're okay.
I think so. If your bed space is more than 200 or more, you've got to have 24/7.
well, if you use it, you don't have to, you can be there.
I think if you have the bed station, you got it.
Yeah, it'd be the
So-
bed count.
It's got a bit, huh?
It'd be the bed count.
The
not-
bed count,
not
not
how
the-
many people you have in it.
Number of jailers.
Why would you have
Well,
to?
people are looking, there's counties, as you know, looking for space right now to,
Oh, yeah, we did right now.
so,
We had space, so we had calls there, take some personals.
Yeah.
Of course, we had.
We don't have a bed.
Yeah, we have a bed card. There were two of space. You know, so that the counties contract and bring money in. And I think long term, we can look at jail big enough that we can actually do just that and have special inmates and actually pay for the facility, pay back the money for the facility. Have our jump making money, it's gonna cost us money. So, opportunity. For the future, I mean, it's looking good, just that. Probably that's a good example, they've got tons of bed space, they're making a fortune. So they pay for percent. He's already reached out to us, and the biggest significant amount of day has been.
So would that be something in long term that you could build a facility like that, start making money or collecting money off the federal and these other counties, and then you could use that money to increase the salaries where you could staff your facility.
And we didn't build it in such a way that we could finish it out, and bring it in. Bring more money in, shut up part.
So what, and you say need a new facility. I mean, if Gary Adams was here, he would say that facility was built to last 100 years. He said 100 years, and he said it's built and it's designed, that hall runs right in front. He said, just flip it over and add to it. Now you're gonna have to change some, you would have to change some, your kitchen, recreation and stuff like that. You would have to add on to that. But what I hear from you guys, and not just you guys, I mean, since I've been here, well, the facility, the plumbing, everything, the facility you have now is not going to work. Is that?
We got a situation underneath the building, there's this huge chasm under there, at some point. These property cabins, at some point, that whole area is just gonna cave in. We just have a lot of foundation issues, a lot of just, jails were only built in the last 25 years.
For jail standards.
Past that. And I think that onto it, it's gonna have the whole week, it's gonna continue to be a maintenance issue, cost us money. And I think ultimately we can look at, the future. Having a complex where we have a sheriff's office, jail, and a courthouse next door to it. Take it, somewhere around here off 64 or off the interstate 20, a great place right under the hospital, because the places we take inmates is work in the hospital. And that would also encourage Christus to hopefully build out a full facility over which we have a real hospital. So I think there's a lot of pluses to relocate the facility to out of the square, it's going to build a ton of the square, I don't think so, but we've got a lot of things you leave here, you do vehicle registration, clerk's office, all those will remain here, we're still gonna have a plus of people come here and take care of the things that they need to take care of without being exposed to the rest of the forces. You can also eliminate some annex buildings and offset the cost of we've got an annex building, we have another annex building out here on 64, 2.3. This one and that one, bring everything to two main facilities. Eliminate some of those expenses, but only also the cost of. That's something, like I say, it's not something we need right now, but it's something we have to look for in the future. Metroplex is moving this way, as it does, everything's gonna grow. County's gonna grow, population's gonna grow, the number of applicants we have is gonna grow. With that growth, we're our outsourcing. Some way. We're able to fill every single bed over here. We have no criminals in the house.
well, we hired a company in 2011 to scope out all those pipes underneath that jail. And we found leaks under there and mostly in the kitchen. So we dug up the entire kitchen portion and replaced all those pipes in there, and those leaks stopped. Actually, our water bill went down, so most of that's fixed. So my deal is right now, if we've got some free money, why don't let's do some renovations on that, and then certainly plan for the future. I mean, start planning now for what I like to call a criminal justice complex, where you've got the criminal district clerk, the criminal county clerk, the probation office, all in one place, the courts, you know, and build something like that instead of just standalone jail.
I think for now, like I was in the latest plan, I mean, that needs a proper, some time. Help eliminate, you know, it will help eliminate the outsourcing. Save some money. And, you know, when you look at outsourcing, you're not just paying that per amount per day that we're paying. So you have to go there, pick up a doctor, you want to take it to court. So there's a lot of labor and costs associated with having outsourced. And we do appreciate the fact that the sheriff in Anderson County is just a great.
Because that's a better rate than others have by far.
Yeah, by far. Yeah, and I think we got a good working relationship with Henderson County. So so you haven't seen this last drawing?
I just got it.
Okay.
I'd like to look at it.
So, yeah, if you got a minute, we'll unroll it. I'll go get it. We'll put it out on this desk.
Y'all look at it during the meeting or after?
Pardon?
You'll do it during the meeting, you mean?
Yeah, I can do it. We can go get it right now and everybody can look at it. You want to do it?
Sounds good.
Okay. But this is, you said you owe us an apology. You've done one thing. What else?
I told him not to say that because we don't have enough time today.
For the apologize.
You can't, no, you can't leave, man.
Oh, yeah, you. I
You
know
gotta
you
sit
are.
there with
Don't
us
you
now.
ever
You
think
can't
that.
run it off.
Don't think you're not leaving.
Be lost without you.
Huh?
Thank you, Sam.
Okay.
Same to you, young lady.
He said, "You gonna bring that in?"
Hey, you folks said hi.
And he said, yeah, Tim said, sure.
Yeah, he wasn't on there.
However you want to get it around here or whatever.
Yeah.
Well.
This here proposal, right here has been approved by the state. It's going to give you, first of all, it's going to tie this in. Reinforce this, tie this in with this, to the one long hallway. You're going to have 8 single cells here, 4 single cells here, single cells, have an 8-man cell here, 8-man cell here, 6-man cell here, 6-man cell here, and a 4-man cell here. And the exercise, you got your exercise, so I'm gonna be looking around. Most things. They know. To not walk or
This is existing, but
that's right.
so this is back there now. This is an open area. Right there.
Drop off.
This is the back of the building right there.
That's right.
Okay. So yeah, right now we walk out. Right here.
I don't think you walk out right here. Right here. That's right.
So we can use this for female halls.
Female, or it. You could.
I don't know.
Another
Female,
candidate,
you
use it, or
ain't got
feds
that.
could use it, or something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna be accurate.
Yeah.
This stuff, this would be maximum security, and all this maximum security.
That's right, and they're gonna reinforce, so you're gonna reinforce these walls here. Right here, they're gonna put in, they're gonna reduce the exercise here, you're gonna put in a big top, a padded cell, and a holding. Right here, up here where your intake is.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a padded cell right now. So you have a padded cell, and you can rest of this with the exercise.
Right now, we have these three single cells. Which we have as far as people that are suicide watch. Violent people.
But this here would really fix you up until we can get them, we can get. I mean.
We don't know. We don't have a price on this yet.
Around $6 million is pretty close. I mean, we don't have a dead set price, but that's what's kind of been floating around.
Yeah. I say just residual costs, the only one I know right now. Just employees. But if we can bring in outside revenue, that's right up on this, give our people a raise in jail. Then the other thing is, I'm saying, we're gonna do some health partners. We'd love to have it right now. Still in current. Yeah, I mean, it's just. Sorry. It's just, going to be full time. And one thing that would be helpful in this open version is if we could. Have a program, mini program back there. That's where it's just, well, I've never been one part time. So that takes our other. Martin does see it, we can just back in the jail library. Public. So. That's something to do. Nice to have some additional space for. This, you got this exercise.
You gotta have two extra.
You have to have.
I mean, you could see, we could, I could. We
Oh,
could
we
do
do
that.
Probably now is like, we would love to have a back somewhere, everybody. We have a meeting right there in my office, we call lunch and share there. We have access to our government. From the outside. So that's something.
What's our prisoner count now? Not counting. How many we can tell? Now,
192.
192, including the minimum security.
That's including this. Right now, we're only just on one side of the mic, back here. So, one side. Parts. We started just ordering this to where it medium. Well, that's what we're gonna do instead of part of this. Yeah.
So it'll be 240. 48.
You know, 48 is included in that 190.
So it'd be.
So I'm talking about this. This is 48.
This is 48 more.
48 more bids. Because we can't miss is already, it's a 48 right now.
Current, we'll just add an account for the new.
Right.
That's
Yes.
48.
That's right.
And it may be cheaper to turn that into a courtroom and that keep it count under 200. And you wouldn't have to spend all that money on part of that bill to this part.
Yeah, we should be able to access it from the outside. It's public, for it to be a courtroom, to actually really be scored like for what Judge Winters does. The public has been able to access that. And go there, so. But there's all kinds of options. Ultimately, yeah, we get rent some of the space up to the overlay. I think it's the marshal service. They pay $87 a day per bed. There's so many ways. So once you say, hey, we're committed to give you this much space, if there's nobody there. They don't use a single bed. They store something check.
Okay. Any questions?
$6 million projects, we're looking at $4 million reserve project.
You're trying to do Sandy, I understand.
I'm just saying, you know, if we cover what's left, compare what we already talked about spending, put it here, you're looking at $4 million reserve for this project.
Can I just say, are you dead set on putting 4 towers?
That's the broadband aspect of the project. You have to, you're not providing broadband across the county. Productivity.
What's it, gonna do? I mean, they're supposed to be doing something on this project.
That's what I was talking about, the different vendors, can get on the towers, bring fiber to the towers, pay all the expenses related to the towers.
That is a huge amount.
It's just like a very bit less. Than one now.
300,000 or 400,000 a year.
The tower. The towers, you're gonna cost 600 to build both sides.
I don't know. We don't really know what's going to cost to make this. I can't see. Would be a good idea, that's the idea.
Someone offered to pay all the maintenance up, just all of it.
On the 4 towers?
Just for space on, get space on each one of them, they pay all the expenses for them.
I was about to, I mean, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile may want that space on those towers too. I mean, that's shocking, their revenue stream. We did first had to put on the towers. They're all looking for space.
And the revenue stream offset the cost of radios. The recurring cost of radios.
And once you make a bid against each other, they'll go out to bid for the building of towers.
Yeah.
And once you make a bid against each other, that price will come down.
But I just asked for Paul Patrick prices for budgetary purposes, and I said, no, it'd be better if it was higher than normal, because we're paying the project. And that's where they gave me 2.4 million for all 4 towers, where I get 600,000 a site. But now that's the whole site, that's the building, the backup generator, the propane, the fences, everything. Sure. And the microwave back.
We're basically closing it up.
I like this idea, but we might take a look at doing something else. Seriously.
We can go, sure, we can go back and see what other sketches they can give us if you want to convert some of that into court.
I mean, I just think that it would be nice, because like today, we have. That's gonna be, next time we. Park, it'd be nice to have a place to say, hey, this is what we're doing. There's Judge Winters, and we just put on the court, and put in, access to the level. Well, right now, I'd say there's. Right, you have the wall and security check.
You want somebody, a place where people can come in, right?
He does this in person.
Yes, sir, that'd be fine. Yes, sir, thank you. Yes, sir.
Tell them about CCS. That would cover either one, so in the future, there's another judge comes in, whichever way they will do it, or so. And it really helps us.
So, let me ask you this, Jack, can you put a broadband on the existing tower?
The barn or the, general center, what, tired of the upgrades. I told somebody that they were just do that for rates, or a long walk. And it was some people brought in the loop. He was talking about Iron Woods will return it out, he don't think the whole way.
If you're talking along those point, the ones that, they're shorter than the ones that, like CIP are using, those point in that area right now, so they look for one. They want to be on our 200 footers, they don't want to be on this existing.
How high would you have to be on the tower?
We're at 250 foot long.
They gotta have a lot of sight.
Side micro systems.
A lot of our areas are really, especially your percent.
Well, I just wondering, DPS would let you put broadband on the tower?
There's one tower out in the county, and it's on Heinz Boost, State Tower. That, once again. Yeah, that's all.
They ain't gonna let broadband get on the top. I'm not
As far
gonna
as the radius.
let us get out, not the problem.
But I like this. Additional costs involved.
Well, we got time to talk about this, just like Alan
Yeah.
said, we don't need to rush it. Do what? No, because like Alan said, we don't need
I
to.
thought we
spend
just-
money
We're not going out. Let's get started.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it.
Well, I need to talk to you about this. No, he's still recording, don't trust him. Do what? Do we need a phone? Hey, Virgil, we gotta do a formal, hey, wait a minute, Chad. It's on the agenda. We gotta have a motion, we got a motion, we got a motion second to adjourn.
All right.
I'll make a motion to
All
adjourn.
in favor, say aye. Aye, we're adjourned.
Okay.
Okay, who motion to say?